I want to finish grade 12, then I want to go to university. When I've completed university, I want to become a nurse. Nothing can stop me. Those are the words of Sylvia, aged 12, who participated in the Population Council's Girls Read program in Zambia. She's one of thousands of girls from around the world who've joined us in research studies in countries ranging from Guatemala to Ethiopia to Kenya and Bangladesh. I've had the privilege to meet hundreds of these girls, and it's difficult not to be inspired by their energy and their potential. And yet, when I look at the statistics, we are falling short. 130 million girls are currently out of school. 12 million girls will get married before the age of 18 each year. That's nearly one girl every 2 seconds. 2.5 million girls will give birth each year before the age of 16. Girls as young as 11 and 12, children literally giving birth to children. And the face of HIV is becoming increasingly young and feminized. The global development community is rightly investing billions of dollars in programs for adolescents. Young people are, of course, our future, and yet it's not clear if those investments are having the maximum impact. And it's not just about hearing the voice of these young people, it's about enabling their choices, enabling them to stay in school, to delay marriage, and to prevent pregnancy, enabling them not only to survive, but to thrive. Because when girls thrive, the benefits to them, to their families, to their communities, and ultimately to their countries are many and multiplying. Today, I'm going to propose a radical idea. By the end of this, I hope you will join me, the Population Council, and our Girls Centre to refocus our energy and our investments. Together, we need to design and deliver evidence-informed and comprehensive girl-centered programs to achieve real impact. The Population Council has been bringing scientific rigor and understanding to global health development challenges and providing solutions for more than 65 years. You may know us best for our work in family planning, where, among other things, it was the Population Council who developed many of the contraceptives being used by women around the world today. It was the Population Council who developed the intrauterine devices. It was the Population Council scientists who developed the contraceptive implant. We estimate today that some 170 million women around the world, 170 million, are using contraceptives developed by the Population Council or based on our technologies. And we continue to innovate. Just last summer, the US Food and Drug Administration approved a new 1-year contraceptive vaginal ring called Anavera, providing women with more choice, more convenience, and more control over their reproductive lives. But biomedical research and development is just part of what we do. Much of our portfolio is in our social and behavioral science research, where we bring the same scientific understanding and rigor to asking and answering questions to improve policies and programs around the world. It was this scientific rigor that enabled us more than 40 years ago to make a key argument. The argument that women and girls are central to development. The Population Council was amongst the first to argue that investing in women and girls is not only the right thing to do, but the smart thing to do. Today, the central question is not whether or why we should invest in women and girls, but how and when. Decades of research have shown that adolescence is a critical time in people's lives when they can pivot rapidly, both positively and negatively. To invest when it really counts, we need to intervene early, during those critical ages between 10 and 14. Investments during these critical years have been shown to be able to keep girls' lives on track, enabling them to make a healthy and productive transition to adulthood. But too often, we focus on a single intervention rather than a comprehensive approach. Girls' lives and well-being are not separate from their education or any other aspect of their lives, and yet our programs continue to focus as if they were. Our programs need to be integrated and comprehensive to support girls' real lives. Without these early investments, our research has shown that the lives of boys and girls can rapidly diverge. From a study we did in Malawi, a longitudinal study, we found that at age 14, about 3/4 of girls in our cohort were still in school, had never been married, and had not had a child. Just 4 years later, by the age of 14, 50%, nearly 50% of girls had experienced all 3 transitions, compared to just 5% of boys, a nearly 10-fold differential. Data like these demonstrate the unique challenges experienced by adolescent girls. And our research shows other ways in which the lives of boys and girls often diverge at this critical age. Here are findings from a community mapping exercise that we conducted in South Africa, and it's a slide that Melinda Gates has chosen to use several times. It shows the difference between boys' and girls' geographic freedom to roam at 2 different ages. At age 10, shown in orange, you will see that girls actually have more freedom to roam than boys. But just 4 years later, as shown in blue, around the age of 14, around the age of puberty, we see that boys' worlds continue to expand, where girls' worlds literally shrink. The increasing isolation of adolescent girls means that they are often excluded from development programs. And even when they are included, it is often the poorest and most marginalized who miss out, those with the greatest need. Through our decades of research and field experience, we've developed tools and approaches such as the Girl Roster. These tools enable us and program implementers to effectively identify and segment girls so that we can meet the different needs of different girls and at different points in their lives and have even greater impact. If we're serious about meeting the needs of adolescent girls, then we need to be serious in our response. We need to understand girls as customers of our programs, not as passive beneficiaries, but as active agents in their own lives. This approach might be new to some in the development community, but it is familiar to those in the business world. If we are serious about delivering on the commitments enshrined in the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, then we need to approach our work with a business mentality. Would any business seriously develop a new product without assessing customers' needs? Would any business seriously develop a new product without looking at what others are doing to see what works and what doesn't work? Would any serious business develop a new product without thinking about the long-term return on investment? We need a business plan for girls. The Population Council's new Girls Centre is working with partners to ensure the design and delivery of comprehensive programs that are informed by evidence, to ensure that programs reach the right girls in the right place at the right time and with the right interventions, and to ensure that we continue to innovate and evaluate to have even more return on our investment and greater impact. Let's stop investing in single interventions and start investing in comprehensive approaches. Let's stop looking at girls as a homogeneous group and start segmenting in order to meet their different needs. Let's stop thinking about inputs and outputs and start thinking about a return on investment. And if you're still not persuaded, let's take a step back and look at the broader impact of these investments. My colleagues at the Girls Centre did exactly that, and they found that if we enable girls to stay in school, to delay marriage, and to prevent pregnancy at least until the age of 18, and we enable their greater participation in the workplace, then we can increase the gross domestic product of lower middle-income countries by 15%, adding $4 trillion to the global economy. As I said at the start, investing in this rising generation of adolescent girls is not only the right thing to do, it's the smart thing to do. The Population Council is committed to keeping our promise to girls, and I hope that you will join us in this endeavour. We owe it to Sylvia and 400 million adolescent girls like her in low and middle-income countries to enable them to have both voice and choice in their futures. Thank you.